Hi, it's Lane75 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on Xbox. And today I got two 1v1's, me against imps at the CG. I always like to kill imps if I get the chance, and yeah, I don't feel bad if they're in FDLs and in combat builds. They usually get a message saying die imp die, though I must admit Devo didn't get the message before we ganked him. But you know, he's an imp, and you know, once it starts, it starts. But you know, the first fight is definitely a 1v1. The second fight, a member of TOC does drop in, but I don't think he got involved or at least did any damage. I'd have to ask Wolf if he got hit by Pug or not. But Pug was in there trying to steal the kill, because what TOC do is they count the number of commanders that they've killed in game. Commander Danger of TOC has 3,000 odd kills, 3,000 commander kills. So the way they do it is they contact FDev and ask for the number of kills they've got. FDev come back with a number of players that they've killed, and a player only counts once. So they could kill me 3,000 times, it wouldn't matter, it would only count as one. So they have to try and find new commanders they don't know and kill them. So if a member of TOC sees you and hasn't killed you, they're likely to try and kill you. It's just the way they roll. So occasionally they will drop in on fights I'm having trying to steal the kill, because it would count for their stats. And they don't care how they get those kills. It doesn't matter to them. As long as it says their name, i.e. killed by them, then that counts. I'm not sure how rams count, because when you ram someone to death, it doesn't say that, it just says you were killed. So I'd be interested to know on stat wise, because if that's the case, I probably haven't killed hardly anyone, because most of my victims died of me ramming them. Let's face it, most people I kill aren't from me ramming them. But yeah, I'm using my gimbal scrub build FDL, so beam lasers and 2 multi-cannons, one emissive, one corrosive. The 3 beam lasers are thermal conduit efficient. It's all about managing my heat, getting hot. It's all gimbal scrub, so it's just point and click. It's really easy. My aim is just, you know, dodge as many plasmax shots as possible, stay in front of the person as much as possible, and occasionally change it up and go straight in there for a ram. You can tell when I'm doing that, because I'll just try and tank shields up like that. Generally that works, because my build's quite heavy. I have no shield banks, I have just all armor and shields. I've only got one non-shields shield booster, and that's a heatsink. So yeah, pretty much mine's a chunky, you know, FDL. It's not amazingly chunky, and like you've seen in ram battles against crates, it just gets absolutely stonked if my shields go down, because it is an FDL with lightweight hull. It needs the lightweight hull because, you know, I'm trying to outmaneuver people and avoid plasmax. I'm really good at dodging plasmax in this thing, even with flight assist on, but I'm terrible at dodging plasma charges. Those things are currently, you know, I have to think of something to do against them. I've even beaten flechette builds in this thing, but that's a rarity, and it's not likely to happen too often. I've only got one small module reinforcement. Yeah, but this guy, how rude, like jumping out on a 1v1 that close to dying. So of course I had to go after him and kill him, because, you know, the only good imp is a dead imp. And you know, if I'm at the CG, I'm either pirating for the honour of Arc on the lane, or I'm killing imps for the honour of Arc on the lane. Now, being Arc on the lane power play means I can kill virtually anyone for any reason. I tend to only sate myself on imps. One, because I don't see any alliance guys, hardly ever. Two, my beef is usually with the imps. You know, when it comes to killing blue hairs, it's fun, and Arc on the lane really appreciates it. You know, it's just the only thing that really makes him happy. You know what he's like, he's eaten so many chemo burgers at this stage, he's a little deranged, and you never get any sense out of him. I mean, I contacted him recently and sent him clips of my imp killing, and he seemed quite happy. This was his response, but it could be the burgers talking. Most of the time I do message at least something, maybe just imp die, something very basic, because let's face it, I don't have a keyboard, and it's politer than, you know, the message I'd like to send, which would be, you know, something a bit more like this.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Nah, only joking. I wouldn't say anything that rude, but it is quite funny. I'm glad that Wolf and Disco decided to make their squadron a imp squadron. It was much needed, so it gives me someone to shoot at CGs and things like that. Because let's face it, IED, I don't know what that's happened to the Imperial Forceman Division. they do have players still playing Xbox, but they're damn sure not enforcing anything at the CGs. CGs have been pretty much carnage for months now, and the few remaining IED commanders seem to be just focusing on BGS stuff. So, you know, there are no lawfuls left on Xbox. It's glory to us, the bad guys and imp killers. I was sat in Super Cruise, there was TOC, Rain and us, and assorted random bad guys. I saw Devo recently at the CG. I've seen a lot of people, but I have not seen hardly any Imperials or lawfuls. I've seen one at the last 3 CGs, and that's been it. And that was the guy I 1v1 twice, and yeah, and after that it's getting the American instance. So not seeing any lawfuls. It's great fun. Pugnut, you notice, does drop in on this one. I don't think he gets a shot in on Wolf. If he did, you'd notice, because he really does chunk. I mean, he does more damage than me ramming someone, really. Seriously, the Pug ship hits so hard. There is a video long ago I did when I did 2 1v1s against him, and he was chunking. It's brutal. I beat him in the Rambo, then he beats me. We fight the same ships. We do it the first time, which he didn't know about the Rambo being a Rambo. Second time he did, and he won the second time. So, you know, it's a very, very solidly built crate that shoots amazing amounts of DPS. It's so brutal. If I was better with PAs, I would definitely build me a version of that ship, because that ship is the most damaging crate I've ever come across. I honestly struggle to find a ship in general that hits harder than Pugnut's crate does. Just raw damage wise, it's brutal. You know, a lot of the TSC guys have switched over to Phantoms. Phantoms are better in 1v1 because you have that speed advantage, so you can go out, recharge your shields, come back in. Eventually a Phantom will wear me down and beat my Rambo, because they can like choose when to fight and when to run, and you know, eventually they can just keep going out of your range until they recharge their shields. So when you're limited range like frags, you really want something that's a close-in brawly type fight. If you can force that type of fight, you'll win. If you get like a runaway type of fight, you're probably going to lose over a long enough timeline anyway. But GG to both these commanders. These were both fun fights, and even fights. They're both FDLs versus my beam de lance. I know I'm a gimbal scrub, but yeah, it is a quite difficult ship to deal with, and I am reasonably proficient at dodging plasmax in 1v1s and ramming people a lot. It's what I do. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and always remember, when you're at the CG, honestly, I do believe this.